Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Michael Annan.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
It was a really average day today. It was really cold this morning, but then we warmed up really quickly to the low 70s, right, Sammy?
Yeah, it was very sunny throughout the whole day, and we will be seeing similar temperatures and plenty of sun tomorrow as well.
Yeah, this weekend the game is actually going to be looking good in terms of weather. Actually quite warm. We could crack 80 possibly on Saturday, but then Sunday we have a front coming through Saturday night and much colder Sunday and Monday.
And we'll take a better look at that soon, but we will be experiencing temperatures for these next few days a little bit chillier in the morning and warming up throughout the day. I mean, I have to put on a sweater in the morning because I'm very chilly for my classes.
I know. Next week with Thanksgiving, a lot of people are moving out, and I think the weather's going to be pretty good for Thanksgiving. So we're going to give you that forecast throughout the show. But for now, let's send it out to the wall with Becca at a look at the overview for our show tonight.
What do you have?
Quick little switcheroo there. Here I am now at the desk with Michael, and what we're going to go ahead and do is draw our state for not next week, but the week after, because of course next week is Thanksgiving.
Yep. We're going to do Wyoming later in the show, but Jake, you have the honors.
Let the fun begin. All right, this is I haven't done this about a month or so, right? So let's see what I draw here. And drum roll, please, Michael. Connecticut. We're going back to New England. We forecasted for New Jersey a little bit earlier on this semester, so we're going to be going back up. A pretty small state, so not really too much weather variability around there, but should be fun considering we have a little bit more populated areas getting pretty close to the New York and Boston metros.
Yep, it will be New York Metro, Boston Metro, so that would be really interesting to forecast. Probably some really cold temperatures with what we're predicting for next week. But let's send it back out to the wall.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we're having some really cold temperatures today. Our low was 39 for our area in Tallahassee, 37 in Valdosta, and then 43 in Panama City. Looking at the satellite, though, not really much anything to look at. There's not much moisture, so no clouds, no storms coming through, anything. Just nice and clear for us. And then what it looks like for the future. First over Saturday, it's going to continue to be nice and sunny, just what we've been seeing, but it is going to be a little bit warmer in front of this front that comes through on Saturday. So it's going to be nice and warm on Saturday right up until the evening when we see this cold front come through at the 30% chance of rain and then a 20% chance on Sunday. But what this really means for us is, and let's take it out to Michael on the desk. No.
Thank you, Becca. So we are going to broaden our horizon and look at what we are currently looking at for the 7-day forecast. But in Tallahassee, we are sitting at 67 degrees. It is very clear out as it was throughout the day. And our dew point and humidity, 50 degrees, 55%, feeling a little dry, but very comfortable outside as well. Current temperatures around 67 in Tallahassee. A little bit colder, actually, in Monticello and Quincy, 63 and 61 degrees. Towards the coast, we are in the 70s at 74 degrees over in St. Mark's, which is a little bit warmer than what we are experiencing. Our dew point is around 50 in our Big Bend region, 55 over in Monticello, and warming up a little bit more at Apalachicola and Carabel at 56. Making it feel a little bit more sticky than it is here in Tallahassee. We are pretty clear throughout most of the day today, not much cloud coverage, although we do have a front coming up later this weekend where you will see a chance of precipitation and plenty of clouds to come. But our current winds are showing not much, just light winds, 3 miles per hour coming from the north, heading south, and 3 over in St. Mark's as well, whereas Wilma and Apalachicola are actually at 0. So not much wind on our Big Bend region. And our current winds for the next few days show kind of a spiral happening through Thursday into Friday. You can start to see that shift heading through, but by Saturday, that's when you're going to start to see a bigger swing when that front comes through, and the wind will completely change and head towards the east. And our next winds will show a little bit change into Saturday night, and that will be following the front, actually. So our evening planner tonight consists of temperatures cooling down from 65 all the way to 56, 53, so you will need a sweater because it will be getting into the 50s and cooling down rapidly. But tomorrow it'll be much warmer, 74 degrees, beautiful Friday, and a great way to end the week. And our 5-day forecast consists of temperatures around 74 for Friday, 78 on Saturday, and that's when that cold front comes through. 30% chance overnight of precipitation and 20% chance on Sunday, and you will start to see those temperatures drop down. 65 for Sunday, Monday 65 and sunny, but we will be pretty chilly on Monday morning as well. But now we're going to take it off with Michael.
Thanks, Sammy. So across the southeast today, it was very pleasant overall. You can see how it is starting to cool down in the eastern sections of the southeast with 59 here in Atlanta, 61 in Savannah, and 55 in Wilmington, and really warm conditions across Texas with 76 in Houston and 70 in Shreveport. The dew points lower across the eastern sections with 42 in Atlanta, 50 in Tallahassee, but higher dew points again in Texas with 67 in Houston and 62 in Shreveport. The water vapor will show you there's a lot of dry air across central and southern Florida. That's indicated by this orange. Not much moisture across the rest of the southeast. So that means it's pretty dry across overall in the southeast. The radar paints a pretty similar picture with not much moisture really anywhere across the southeast. We do see some cloud cover across Arkansas and Louisiana and Mississippi, but it's really pleasant for the next 48 hours, especially across the southeast. The futurecast winds will show you we have northerly winds across the eastern sections of the southeast, but let me point out Texas because you can see these winds start to shift out of the south as a cold front begins to arrive into the region. As we move on, you can see southerly winds basically across the rest of the region, and you can note that front starting to move through Saturday into Sunday across the southeast. And if we look at the cities across the southeast, let's look at my hometown of Atlanta with a very pleasant Friday at 65 degrees, but note the cold low at 41 for Friday morning. Saturday, the rain chances increase due to that cold front I was mentioning earlier. And look at the air behind that cold front for Sunday, 51 for a high on Sunday. For Little Rock, very similar story. Pleasant Friday with some clouds. On Friday, 74 degrees as our high. Rain chances increase on Saturday due to that front with 69. Colder Sunday with 53. Nashville, similar story. Friday, very pleasant. Saturday, rain chances increase and a colder Sunday with 47 degrees. Asheville, the same thing. 59 on Friday. Rain chances increase on Saturday due to the front and colder on Sunday with 46. For tonight's forecast, the colder conditions are across the eastern section of the southeast with that dry air and less wind. 44 in Atlanta, 44 in Montgomery. Warmer conditions still across Texas with 66 in Houston and 59 in Shreveport. And if we paint a look at tomorrow, you can see very pleasant across the eastern sections of the southeast and warmer conditions across Texas ahead of that cold front, which will move to the region this weekend. So let's send it off to the lab with Sammy now.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for giving us a look at what that cold front is bringing. But now we are going to explain what exactly a cold front is. So, what makes a cold front? A cold front provides colder and denser air, and it moves through with precipitation, and that could be sleet, snow, rain, and it could be thunderstorms as well with that cold front. And now this is an example of a cold front. We have that blue line with those blue triangles below it, and we have the wind structure of a cold front. Now, picture is of a warm front and a cold front meeting. So that is associated with the low pressure system. So you can see the winds move from the east in front of the front, and behind the front we have that colder, denser air moving from the west. Ahead of the front, warmer temps, high dew points, and a possibility of rain. Well, that's what we will be experiencing in Tallahassee coming soon and throughout most of the United States, actually. And this is a side view of a cold front. So what this shows is the colder air moving through, and this is the cold front. So we are starting to see some thunderstorms building up with that warm air, and that will bring uplift and bring in those thunderstorms or snow in some cases. So that is what a cold front is and what you will possibly be experiencing the next few days, whether you will be in Tallahassee or throughout most of the United States. They will also have that cold front as well, as it is moving throughout the whole national area. But now we are going to take a look at our national with Jake.
All right, Sammy, I'm out here at the wall. We're going to talk about what's going on across the United States here, starting off with the current conditions nationally. And a big feature you really see is this cool pocket over the Great Lakes in the upper Midwest. We got a pretty strong high pressure system currently right over the Great Lakes right now. So you see a lot of these 30s and 40s, as well as some snowfall in Minnesota that we'll talk about a little later on. Most of the fun weather right now has to do with topography, actually. We look at the Pacific Northwest here. We see this low spinning off of the coast of Oregon and Washington, of course, causing a lot of trouble for our forecasting contest participants here at FSU. A lot of precip in Oregon and Washington, and you see that well-defined rain-snow line right along the Cascade Mountains here. You get this forced lifting of air on the west side of the mountain, which eventually, when it cools off enough, contributes to snowfall. We see a fairly similar feature, actually, if you look in New England as well. We have another occluded low, basically this vertically stacked sort of structure that's weakening, but still, of course, causing a lot of trouble for the New England states, especially now moving into parts of Maine, where you still see that very well-defined rain-snow line, some cooler air behind the front associated with that. So that's where you see the snowfall, those temps below 32 degrees or so. Here's the national weather picture, and this is really where all the fun is. This low pressure currently in Alberta here with the fronts dropping down below it. This snow in Minnesota actually seems to come out of thin air, but essentially this warm front is sort of tilting to the east with height here. So essentially air is lifting right along that, as Sammy outlined, out of the southwest. So that's where you see some of that snowfall really showing up, where there's no well-defined weather system to really speak of here. So just a little fun fact out there. But here is where we start to look at what matters for us here in Tallahassee, starting with the futurecast temperatures. We move through Thursday night, and you're going to start to see the first signs of this front beginning to move down to the southeast. Here is that line right here. You see the well-defined boundary tomorrow night between the 60s and some of these cooler 40s and 50s up to the north. That's going to really strengthen and move off to the southeast through the day on Saturday. So we're expecting a warm day around town with temperatures trying to crack about the 80-degree point. But you see behind that very cool air once again in the Great Lakes, even starting to push down into the southern plains, where you'll see some Saturday afternoon temperatures, maybe not even cracking 60 degrees. We look at Sunday, that front's going to be past us, and we're going to see a much, much cooler day with some precip chances here around town. And on Monday, really the rest of the day on Sunday as well, a very cool picture across the eastern United States as compared to the west. 40s and 50s, even some 30s up in New England. Out west, 60s and even some 70s in the desert southwest. So nice little dichotomy there. We look at the dew points. Moist in the south, dry in the north, kind of what we expect at this time of the year. We look at this upper level water vapor showing us a fairly similar picture here. Pretty dry air in the southeast right now, as we haven't really been seeing much rainfall. Tomorrow, or actually Saturday here, the SPC outlook, a marginal risk for some isolated severe thunderstorms in the Tennessee Valley. Something to keep our eye on, although we're not expecting a major outbreak of any kind here. For tonight's forecast, those cool temps persist in the eastern third of the country, and then tomorrow you're going to see these warm temperatures really start to make their presence felt in the southern plains with 80s across Texas. Now to Sammy for our look at the state of Wyoming.
Thank you, Jake. So Wyoming was our state of last week, and we are going to take a look at what is happening currently in Wyoming. They are currently experiencing that cold front coming through. We have a mixture of snow and rain ahead of that front. So they are starting to see some precipitation and clouds associated with that front. You can start to see that clear line of sun for the front, and this is right where the front is actually passing through, or starting to pass through, that is. 38 over in Jackson Hole, 52 in Riverton, and 58 in Casper, and Cheyenne, the capital, is 63 and sunny for the current temperature. Our dew point is around 33 in Riverton, and it's kind of staying around mid-30s for the upper and western part of the state. But ahead of that front, we are actually much colder in terms of the dew point, sitting in the 20s. Casper, 28, and Cheyenne is at 22, so they are starting to feel that dry weather with that as well. In our current winds, we are starting to pick up that winds associated with that cold front. 29 over in Gillette, 29 also in Casper, and behind the front we are at 8 with Big Piney. So they are starting to feel those winds as well. And our Casper, Wyoming, we are seeing some temperatures associated with this front around 48 degrees. And 40% chance of rain, sleet mix, and 43 degrees for Saturday and rain, or sunny, excuse me. But now we are going to take it off with Michael.
Thanks, Sammy. So let's look at the tri-state region currently. You can see it's 67 here in Tallahassee, 64 in Dothan, 63 in Montgomery. Very pleasant conditions, as I was saying, across all of the southeast today, which was really nice for all of us. And the high temperatures were mainly across the 70s, across the tri-state area. The dew points are mainly across the 50s. Higher dew points west as that surge of moisture is starting to happen ahead of that cold front arriving this weekend. The current winds are showing the wind there that's still coming from the north, giving that cooler, drier air. The futurecast winds, again, I want to show you how these winds begin to shift into tomorrow. It becomes an east wind, and then into Friday, into Saturday, these winds start to shift out of the south ahead of that cold front I was mentioning. You can see that clearly here, and that cold front will arrive in our region by Saturday night into Sunday. For tonight, very pleasant conditions. It will cool down rather quickly with the dry air and light winds. We'll cool down to 53 by midnight, and tomorrow we'll start out at 46 degrees at sunrise, and it will warm up quickly due to that warm air, due to that dry air, and we'll top out at 74 degrees. Perfect day for any plans you have. And if we look at the last 7 days, you can see how we've been pretty average for this time of year, around the average high of 73 and our average low of 47. But as we move into the next 7 days, that front is really going to drop our temperatures down into the mid-60s. Really cool air for this time of year. But then by Thanksgiving week, we will go back to those middle 70s, back to our averages for this time of year. Now, let's send it off to the desk with Jake and Becca.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. Big theme of what you were talking about here, besides the cooler temperatures on the way, is the continued dry pattern that we've really been seeing all month, and that kind of takes us back to something we experienced around town last year.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that, but I understand that it was really significant.
Yeah, Tallahassee went about 6 weeks without rain, actually a little bit over that, and really the entire southeast was engulfed in a rather extreme drought. We're starting to see, not to the same extent, but some of these conditions beginning to creep their way back into our neck of the woods.
Yeah, thinking back, I don't think I've seen any rain really since Irma.
Yeah, this month we've only seen 1/100th of an inch
Wow.
at the Tallahassee International Airport. Believe it or not, that's actually more than we had the first half of November last year.
Oh, so when we were under drought conditions, it still was a little bit worse than we're seeing now.
Yeah, we should not be seeing anything nearly as bad here, but the new drought monitor was released today by the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, the Drought Mitigation Center over there, and they're beginning to work us back into some of these abnormally dry conditions, as they call it, sort of the precursor to a drought. Some parts of Georgia also beginning to see conditions worsen just a little bit more than that.
A little bit worse than what we're seeing, than what we have had hoped to see following last year, which I understand was really, really drastic.
Yeah, some parts of Alabama and Georgia were in the highest category, the extreme drought, which is actually an exceptional drought, which is a level 5 out of 5 on their scale that they have defined. We see Early County in southwestern Georgia really being the one just to our northwest here that is starting to worsen a little bit, considered now to have a moderate drought. We'll have a full outline of all that in future shows here. For now, we're going to take it out to the lab where Michael's standing by with our trivia answer.
Thanks, Jake and Becca. So we were going to look at our trivia question, and with that cold front we've been mentioning coming through this weekend, our question for today on Twitter was, what happens to the pressure ahead of the cold front? A, increases, B, decreases, or C, stays the same? And our answer for our trivia question is B, decreases. The reason for that is because when you have unsettled weather associated with cold front, pressure always drops. So that's what our answer for today's trivia question. Now let's send it off to the wall with Jake and look at some of the events going around Florida State and the weather with those events.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. What we're going to be doing soon is sort of previewing your weekend through the scope of all the cool homecoming events around town. For now, we're going to start off with our Thursday night football forecast every week. The Color Rush, Tennessee Titans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field. A couple of division leaders, actually, in the AFC. Looking like a pretty cool night in Pittsburgh with a game-time temperature of 36 degrees here, kicking off just about 8:30 Eastern Time. Now let's start looking at what's going on around campus. Starting tonight here, 7 p.m. Not going, if you're watching our 11 o'clock airing, this event will have already passed, but this is FSU Spirit Night here. A talent showcase occurring in the Oglesby Union Ballrooms just about 45 or 40 minutes or so from right now. 61 degrees is what we're going to be expecting, so again, a pretty clear night ahead to expect for us, as we've outlined a couple of times on the show already. Here's the homecoming parade, one of the highlights, of course, of homecoming week, organized by the Student Alumni Association. Going to be starting at the Donald Tucker Civic Center, 2 p.m. We're expecting 73 degrees to be our temperature right around that time. Beautiful sunny skies. It is a fantastic event. Personally, you really can't wait to see people get out there. For Powwow, it's going to be Friday evening. You're starting to see this trend here. We're just going linear with the forecast. 8 p.m., Hannibal Burris, little comedian act here with Jack Knight opening here. Doors opening at 7 p.m. As one of our premier homecoming festivities on campus. This will be taking place at the Civic Center. 59 degrees is what we're expecting when the event begins here. Nice little light easterly wind as well. Right around the same time, you got plenty of options tomorrow night. Friday night block party between 5 and 10 p.m. featuring music by Chris Lane, Dylan Schneider, and Bailey Bryan here. At 5 p.m., expecting a temperature right about 69 degrees, cooling down to 53 by the end of the event. Clear skies persisting throughout, so just south of campus in College Town, another fantastic event if you decide you want to head out there. The Homecoming Awards Breakfast is going to be taking place Saturday morning at the Alumni Center Grand Ballroom. If you're going to be heading out there, we suggest business casual attire. 56 degrees, mostly sunny skies, setting up for, of course, the homecoming football game where FSU takes on Delaware State in a battle for bowl eligibility here, trying to get to 6 wins. 75 degrees your kickoff temperature, the warmest day we're going to be expecting over the next 7 here. Winds are going to be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour, really reflecting that. A 12 p.m. kickoff here, as we've really become accustomed to seeing throughout the season here around Tallahassee. And this leads into Doak After Dark. Saturday at 4 p.m. going to be taking place right after the football game concludes. They're going to be setting up the stage essentially 20 minutes after the game ends. Cole Swindell going to be the musical act, so some country music out there. 77 degrees what we're expecting when the concert starts. Assuming there is no overtime in the football game, winds are going to be once again out of the south from 5 to 10. And here we are with our 5-day forecast to wrap things up. Saturday at evening time is really where we're going to be looking for the cold front. Some potential rain Saturday night into Sunday morning, expecting fairly dry conditions, though nothing more than a few clouds and a stray shower or two, really cooling off with a morning low of 37 degrees on Monday. So now to Becca to wrap things up with our final local.
All right, thank you so much. So today what we were seeing was actually, finally, we were average. So we had an average high for what we should have been seeing, but our low still doesn't want to fall right into line, and so it is significantly lower than what we would be expecting to see for this month. And then right now we are sitting at 67. It's clear, it's nice, it's pretty cool. We do have only a little bit of humidity at 55, and then the dew point is 50. So it's pretty nice, and it's a great day to go out. Low winds, very nice. And over the past 20 hours, we can see that there's been an incredible rise in temperature. So I know I went to my 8 a.m., dressed for cold temperatures, and walked out, and at the end of the day, it definitely was not that, climbing all the way to 73. But we have been having, just like we'll have tonight, clear skies, no moisture in the air, no clouds, nothing. Very nice and wonderful to enjoy. Right now, we're sitting at 67, which is a little bit higher than the area. 59 in Quincy, 61 in Wilma, 59 in Monticello, and 60 in Valdosta, with a little bit actually lower on the coast in Apalachicola and Carabel. And then this is really what we've been talking about all night long, has been this cold front that's going to be coming through on Saturday and a little bit Saturday night. So right now, today, it's 61 here, pretty cool, but it is a little bit warmer as you go to the west in Pensacola. And then as we go through the night and into the morning on Friday, we're going to see, again, it drops significantly, so 44, very cold, and then still, though, a little bit warmer at 52 in Pensacola. And then as we continue all the way through to Friday and into Saturday morning, we're going to be seeing, if you watch here, watch for this little pocket of yellow right here. This is going to be directly in front of the cold front as it continues in Saturday during the day. So this green line right there marks the cold front that's going to come through, and we'll be feeling this only through to Saturday evening, but it's not going to change our temperatures very much at 54 right here. So tonight it is going to be nice and clear. It's going to be pretty cold at 46, but it's not going to be windy and it's not going to be cloudy. So all in all, a pretty nice night if you want to go and enjoy it. And then what this really means for tomorrow, if we want to take full advantage of our break, which I definitely do. So it's going to be cold if you have those 8 a.m. classes, but by the time that you get out at 12 o'clock, it'll be nice, it'll be warm, still sunny all day. And then at 4 o'clock on Friday at 74, we will be able to enjoy it just as much as we would like to for the whole night, for the long weekend that we'll be enjoying. And then for the week, so it's going to be nice and warm on Friday. It's going to be actually increasing on Saturday right up until that front comes through, and then it gets a little bit colder. We get a 30% chance of rain as it comes through, and then a 20% on Sunday. And the day is going to continue to get warmer and warmer and nicer and nicer. What do I do? As we continue. And now let's give it a nice close with me and Sammy. Hi.
Hi. So that week ahead, I mean, we're going to be seeing some variable temperatures, especially
Yes.
throughout the whole day, too. I mean, waking up and it's going to be 40 degrees out. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that.
Just a little chilly, but hey, it's okay. I'm looking forward to the warmer temperatures rising up throughout the day, and maybe some rain.
Yeah. Cool it off, keep things interesting, cool it off, and then we get the nice Thanksgiving break that we really want.
Yes. Are you staying here for Thanksgiving?
I am not. Thanksgiving is actually my birthday, so I'll be
Happy
going down.
birthday.
Yeah, a little bit. Turkey cakes, as far as the eye can see. I'm
Pumpkin
pretty
pie.
sure. Oh yeah.
Where's your state?
Utah, but I'll be going down
Utah,
to
wow.
Orlando.
Cool. So make sure you follow us on twitter.com/FSU weather for updates. Also on facebook.com/FSU weather. Watch us live on YouTube/FSU weather live. And follow us on Instagram. We love to see your pictures anywhere on any of our social medias.
Yeah, definitely want to see some very nice photos of you enjoying the fall break.
Yes. And hopefully weather too. I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Beal.
Have a good night.